Recording in progress.
Yo, what up, folks? What up? I'm your big homie, Trey Frazier, and I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep, no doubt, no
All
doubt.
right, bet.
Welcome, folks. It's another edition of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast this week. Special shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and live on Twitter on our handle at Barbershop SPOR2. Make sure y'all continue to follow us on those platforms, and also you can follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Maestro, what's good, man? How we feeling this week?
Man, I'm good. Let's be clear that I'm good, but I'm trying to reshape some things in life, man. So I've been up at 4 a.m, getting my energy right, drinking my water. Make sure you're drinking your water, keeping that in your system. You know what I'm saying? I know I said to you last week about how I hadn't been drinking water during the podcast, so I made it my business to get some water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep my skin right. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting old. I don't know if you noticed, I got a little gray growing in right here. So I'm like,
it's getting there.
Couple of them coming through on the wig. My wig ain't done. That's why I got, that's why I won't show it right this second.
You wow. Well, the gray for me been coming in for a couple years now. But
I got a gray that like it's just chilling like that. It's like, yeah, like look at me.
There.
So
it's just there.
Like that joint shining, like it's shining, like especially I've been on this little beard thing, like trying to grow it. Mm-hmm. And that thing popped. That thing is like, yeah, look at me.
Yeah, sign of the times, man.
How you, man?
I'm great, man. My son celebrated a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday.
Yes, sir.
Great 8.
Yes, sir.
He had an interesting Saturday, I'll say. This was the last week for soccer games and everything, and his soccer coach was busted for cheating on the game. So, and I'm gonna keep this short. So, and shout out to Kesey in the Facebook Live chat. Appreciate you.
What up?
And so me and the parents, we've been noticing this for like pretty much the whole season. So every week there'd be a girl that's like taller than the rest of the kids that shows up and plays in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Takes the minutes from the kids that actually show up during the week during practice. This girl never showed up in practice during the week. She always came on game days on Saturdays, right?
Right.
And so, long story short, the commissioner who's always at these games every Saturday, he rides around in a truck around the fields and stuff. And it appeared someone made a mention to him, and right after halftime during his game, they cut that thing short, man. Like 2 minutes in, they cut that thing short, man. So it was a wild ending to Nate's first season playing soccer.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw your tweet, and I thought that was interesting that you didn't recognize that youth league sports. That's a occurrence of bringing older people who into the don't be telling that story. But
yeah, right.
There was a team. There was a youth league team. This had to be. I was married and the kids were younger, so it had to been like 8, maybe 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But in short, this was a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And no, I'm lying. It was a homecoming game. Yep. And the other team showed up, and everybody. And this is a 13, 14-year-old team. I think it was 105, 110, whatever the weight class, whatever it was. Yep. And nobody on that team was of size or age. They showed up to our field, big as hell, all that, and they was whooping our ass like such because they were so much bigger than we were.
Yeah.
So it was homecoming, and everybody was a little distraught. So the other team was like, all right, well, if y'all going to cheat, we going to cheat.
Yeah.
They found some random kids in the neighborhood, suited them up, and threw them in the game.
I like that.
And they almost, I mean, when I tell you, the second that the bigger kids, they slid in like 3 extra kids, like literally
Yeah.
3 extra kids is all they needed.
Yep.
They slid it in a new quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver, and literally they dropped back and threw bombs every single time, and
Mm-hmm.
every single time
They was
the quarter,
connecting.
no, it was. It's wild. It's
Yep.
funny. The moral of the story is don't cheat. It's not gonna go in your favor one way or the other.
Sure. Sure.
Literally, the quarterback would drop back, throw a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
The wide receiver would smoke the cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally every single play, there was no play drawn.
Yeah.
They said, "Hey, run! I'm gonna throw it," and that's what happened. Every single time, the ball would drop right in the receiver hand, and they would drop it.
Mm.
Every single time, and needless to say, that they lost. They lost.
Yep.
But the moral of the story is just because one team is cheating, it don't mean y'all gotta cheat. Just
Yeah.
their
Now,
comments coming to them.
I guess a question for you, and we'll move on. Was so, were there like somebody in like the higher ups that was kind of overseeing?
I don't think anybody. I'm gonna say there was no way that there was somebody in the higher ups that came to that game because it was very clear what was going on.
Right.
Yeah, it was very clear.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, you talked about that being sort of like a normal thing, and I guess, with me being the first time kind of taking my kids through this experience, I don't think about it a lot. But as the season was going on, and we kept seeing this girl, and we figured out that she was in relation to the coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know in what relation, but the coach had two older daughters that helped him assistant coach, and then two of his younger kids were actually a part of the roster.
Right.
And then there was this tall girl. If the team wore red that day, she would come in a red jersey, not of the league. If it was a white jersey, she would come in a white jersey, not of the league. So but it's wild, man. But the coach deserves all the smoke. At the same time, though, and if it's true that one of the parents on our side said something to either the commissioner or to the coach, and it still kind of went on, and finally you want to pick the final game of the year to say something or to shut it down, then the commissioner and whoever's higher up, they got to get that same smoke too, because look, something was said, and the fact that you kind of cut this short, it's not a good look. The kids understand. They walked back across the field to us. I asked Nate, did you understand what happened? And he said that one of the parents said that we were caught cheating. And I said, no, listen, you guys didn't cheat. Your coach cheated. I want you to, understand, what that's about, and, how wrong that is to cheat when it comes to, these games or whatever game you play. If it's a
so this was your team who did that?
It was our team.
Son?
It was our team. It was our team. Yeah.
Wow.
It was our team. Look, I say it. I say it again. The coach, he got busted. He deserved everything that came to him, and it was really nothing he could say to the parents. Really.
Right.
At that point, he just packed up his stuff. Took his family and just walked off the field. Didn't say anything to any of us. The opposing team we were playing, them parents was getting in the shit.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, hey, you had it coming to you, bruh. So, but I'm happy that the soccer season's over. No more practices during the week. We get some time to ourselves, and we just kind of looking on to the next thing. I did sign him up for soccer skills, which is just basically working on your footwork. Some of the physical stuff, not necessarily games, but that'll be something that'll be from like mid next month all the way to mid March. So that'll be one day a week. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Just a programming note, folks. Oh, bruh.
Yeah,
it was wild, man. I mean, it'd be no place else to start than with Buffalo and Minnesota.
Hey, I'll tell you this, man. Buffalo was still Buffalo. Let's be clear on that. But Minnesota took a step.
Mm-hmm.
They took a step, and I get
Yep.
that they they didn't convert on that fourth down and all those things that happened
Mm-hmm.
in the game where they could have possibly closed the game out sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But beating Buffalo is a step. I'm not going to put them over Philly in the NFC in no stretch. But
Mm-hmm.
I think for those who didn't feel like Minnesota was the number 2 team in the NFC,
Mm-hmm.
I think at this stage it's solidified. But I've been saying that they're the number 2 team for maybe a month now.
Yeah.
So I mean, they showed improve, and they look good, man. One thing that goes without one thing that we never mentioned about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
When is he? And I get most quarterbacks don't get the talent of a Justin Jefferson often,
Mm-hmm.
but what was the second best wide receiver Kirk Cousins ever had? Would you say Deshaun Jackson in Washington? Would you say Adam
Mm,
Thielen? Who would you say was his second best wide receiver ever?
was Diggs there when Kirk was there? Was Diggs still there?
When was Diggs still there?
Was Diggs still in Minnesota when Kirk was the quarterback?
I feel like maybe he had to be. I would say he had to been
Okay.
because Kirk been there for a little while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Okay,
I
yeah.
gotta
So Diggs,
I
right?
gotta go throw Diggs in that conversation. So
I
yes.
mean, would you say Diggs was better? Like Diggs in the beginning stages, like he was a rookie. Maybe I think he made it play three
Second
years,
year, maybe something like
something
that.
like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, yes, he has to be in the conversation. If I have to rank it right
Mm-hmm.
now, I would say the best wide receiver he's had and actually played with was Deshaun Jackson.
Okay.
And that's not and that like he wasn't a bad receiver. I just don't he wasn't an all around type guy that Justin Jefferson is.
Right. And so that was for like a year in Washington, right? Because
Uh,
Deshaun wasn't there
that
for that long.
no, yeah, it was that year, but it was that year that McVay really got hot,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So yeah,
Right. Right.
and also to add with Kirk Cousins right now, say what you want, T.J. Hawkinson came in and immediately
Mm-hmm.
contributed.
Yeah. So a side note to that, the reason they made that trade for Hawkinson was because I found out that Irv Smith got
Irv
hurt
Smith, yeah.
and he sat out a couple of games. I don't know if he's still out to this point.
Well, and let's be clear,
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Hawkinson is an immediate upgrade to Irv Smith. No
No,
shade
I
to Irv
agree.
Smith. Yeah,
I
I
agree with
mean,
that.
that goes without being said.
I agree
If
with
you
that.
bring, I mean, let's be. Look, I think the Vikings hope that they can keep Hawkinson and Irv Smith,
Mm-hmm.
but Irv Smith is automatically tight end number 2.
No,
Period.
no, I get that. I when they made the trade, I didn't know that Irv Smith was hurt.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
thought, hey, you bringing Hawkinson in now. You got
two.
these two tight ends,
Yeah,
and maybe you could run some two tight end sets every now and then. Not more often, I should say. But to answer your question about the receivers, if I had to really think about it, yes, Diggs is in the conversation. Obviously, Adam Thielen, Deshaun Jackson. Um, I mean, Deshaun Jackson, even at the age he was, and even to this day, I mean, the dude could still fly. I mean, in Washington, he could
he was
still
flying.
fly. Yeah,
He was flying.
he was flying at that point. Yeah, I guess I gotta agree with you for the moment until I could think of somebody else. But I mean, what other wide receiver in Washington did he have other than Deshaun? I'm trying to think.
I don't remember. Yeah, I wish I
Yeah.
could tell you. I don't remember that. I don't remember that roster. I mean, maybe Garcon was still there. Maybe.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Maybe he was still
I
there.
think he was still there at that point. But
Another thing we gotta give credit to as far as Minnesota, that coach O'Connell who was
mm-hmm.
with um the Rams the year before,
Yeah,
and you can see immediately what was happening offensively,
yeah,
what he was bringing offensively to the Rams,
yep.
and how that's gone now, and it is magically here with Minnesota. So I mean, look,
Yeah,
man,
I won't put that
there's
on. I won't put that on him as much. Like what's happening with the Rams. I think what's happening with the Rams is a little bit of that, but I think majority of that is they got some injuries. The offensive line is not as good as it was last year, And this
I don't think
Allen
the play calling
Robinson
is good.
and the play calling, you might be onto something there. And the Allen Robinson experiment is just not panning out right now. But
Well,
as
I'll ask you this then.
yep,
And I mean, and obviously we speculating, which we love to do here.
yep.
And if Kevin O'Connell is still coaching that Rams team, do you or offense, being a coordinator over there, do you think Allen Robinson still has this situation?
I think he's slightly better. I don't think he's all the way to
I
what
think
we
he.
expect of
I think
him.
he's more of what we thought he was going to be when he came to the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
If O'Connell's still there.
Okay.
I think Cam Akers is a better
Okay.
running back with O'Connell there. I think. I mean, yes, the offensive line is an
The
issue,
line is an issue.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not doubting that at all. But I
Yeah.
do think it's scheme. I do think it's more scheme than talent.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
And if you're McVay, don't you kind of got to step in and be like, okay, I got to run this the way I was running it back in 2017, 2018 when I had Goff, and just kind of
I
try to
don't know.
work through it this way.
I don't know. I know that you picked up a quarterback that you felt like was a franchise quarterback, for however long he's going to be in the league. Matthew Stafford is one of those. Yeah, he's looking hella mid. And shit and then with Cooper Kupp on IR.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, it's a wrap. They're
Yeah.
not going nowhere. It's a wrap for them.
Yeah.
The season's done. But to get to the Viking side of it, I see Kevin McConnell's impact on the offense, not just from a play calling perspective, but if you go back to last year and if you kind of go back to like the Zimmer regime, like those teams would get up early on you and then that offense would stall. Like we've seen a lot of that out of them last year, and it seems like this year you're seeing the offense start off maybe not as hot, but they'll put up some points here and there. But then these dudes are starting to finish games offensively.
Yeah.
Like that's the big difference when I look at the Vikings this year. I mean, against Buffalo, they're down 17 points, and I think they put together 3 consecutive drives of touchdowns. No, it was 2 consecutive drives of touchdowns, and then that third one was the red zone where they got stopped, and then right before Josh Allen fumbled the snap.
Okay, yeah.
So
right, you're right. My fault.
So you're starting to see the Vikings finish games offensively, and these are close games that they're in. Like I think all their wins are by like 1 score, and if you can do that, look, I don't care if you get by the skin of your teeth in these games, but that to me just proves that you're a good team. You're a good team that you can finish games and close tight games like this.
My last thing on Minnesota before we talk about Buffalo, and obviously I don't feel there's a lot to say about Buffalo. Are we ready to? And I'm undecided about this, so I'm more asking what you think about it.
Yep.
Is Justin Jefferson officially the best wide receiver in the NFL?
Yes.
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 You said it real, and you said it fast.
I felt like it for a while though. That's the thing. Like even last year, in some situations, I felt like he was the best, but because the team wasn't as good, it kind of went by the wayside. But
Yeah.
we knew at the very least he was top 2, in the game. But now with the catch, and oh by the way, I saw what you posted on Twitter there. Hey, the first thing that came to mind was the Kawhi 3-pointer in the corner. So
Yeah.
I know where you're getting at with that. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of photos surfacing on the web of that catch. So
And I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that. You notice nobody else thought to make it. You ever seen anybody else do a T-shirt of that besides me?
No, nope, I haven't seen it.
Me and you gonna talk. We gonna talk offline one day about my idea.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it, bro. But yeah, I mean, to make that catch, even after Diggs' catch, I mean, you saw Diggs' catch earlier in the game.
Yeah, right.
The one-hand joint, like
Right.
those guys. I mean, they might be 1 and 2.
I forgot Diggs even made that catch after Jefferson made that other one.
It's wild,
Yeah.
right? So, but yeah, he's the best in the league, man. I mean,
You think Diggs is in the top 10 or the top 5? I'm sorry.
Diggs? Yes, I think
He's in the top 5?
Yep, I think he is.
freestyle.
Well,
Justin Jeff.
Cup is hurt, so and
You
I don't
can't
think
take
Cup's
him out
any
because
good.
he.
But he's not. But he hasn't really even before
But
he
he
got
fresh
hurt.
off a triple crown though, bruh.
Okay. I'm keeping him out.
Okay.
If you want to keep
All
him
right.
in, that's cool. I ain't gonna hold you. But
Okay.
I'm gonna keep him out.
All right.
If I had to freestyle, Tyreek Hill,
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Waddle, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs.
Oh, whoa! You going too fast? Jalen Waddle can't be in the top 5, bruh.
Why not?
Jalen Waddle is in your top. I mean, it's your
Why,
top 5. Let me
why
start with
not?
that.
Yeah, I mean he balling. I mean we said before the season started.
Are we basing this? Okay, are we basing this on just this year?
Just this year.
Okay.
Just this year. Just what I'm seeing through 10 weeks of football so far.
Let me. Justin Jefferson is there this year. This year.
Yeah, this year.
Okay, I gotta this year. Justin Jefferson is definitely there. Tyreek Hill, obviously.
Yep. And we said Stephon Diggs, right? You agree with Stephon Diggs?
I have to. Yeah, Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now on wide receivers in the league.
Do you think AJ Brown is in that top 5? I think he is.
AJ Brown has to be.
Yeah.
The way he cooked our ass, he has to be. And then your 5th is Jalen Waddle.
I'm just trying.
Yeah, we could. You really got me.
I'm trying to think of somebody.
Yeah,
else.
it's yeah.
I'm trying to think of somebody else.
Let me pull up the. Let me pull it up. I'm just trying to think about.
Yeah. Right now it's still 5 for me. Unless you pull up somebody, out the blue. I think that's my 5 there. I think that's my 5, man. It's not like Jalen Waddle is no.
I mean, here I'm not. That you're about to say that's not to say he's a slouch. Let me be clear on that. That's not to say he's a slouch. Damn, I mean, Ja, you might be. I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, well, shit.
Let's be real. Let's be real about this. Tyreek Hill could break the all-time receiving record in a season, and Jalen Waddle could get 1,500 receiving yards in the same year. That's the way this thing is going right now.
I don't know if I'm with Cooper Kupp out. I think with Cooper Kupp being on IR, I have to put Jalen Waddle here because I can't think of nobody this year. And if I'm just
Jamar
just
Chase
basing
is
it,
missing some time.
Who did I just think about? Who just
nobody
crossed
on
my
the
mind?
Bucks. I mean, Mike Evans.
No,
I think is having a good year
no.
with the dropsies and stuff.
No,
he's not having.
I can't. I can't put CD there. I can't put Brandon Ayuk there, even though Brandon Ayuk is low key. Ain't nobody's talking about it.
Yep.
I guess I put Waddle there just because Coop and Chase is injured. But if you're talking about just this year and it has nothing to do with last year, yeah, okay, I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
Yeah. Now when those guys come back, if Chase come back and he start, doing
but
his thing,
he's on IR. If I'm not mistaken, he's on IR.
Chase is on IR.
If I'm not mistaken, he's on IR.
Okay, I'm gonna double check that.
Yeah,
I'll double check that. In your mind, is Buffalo in trouble, or you reserve?
No,
everything gonna be all right.
Everything's fine.
I think everything's okay. Fine. I think everything's gonna be okay, but I got to thinking, right? So the AFC North for years, it's been Baltimore, it's been Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, for a few years every now and then. It was always this 3-team race. Most years, especially in the last, I'd say 10 years, it's always been like this 3-team race in the AFC North, right? And we look around football and there hasn't really been another division that has been that consistent with teams being that good year in and year out to fight for the crown, right?
Right.
Buffalo is starting to get their taste of what it feels like to be in a division where you got to compete with not just one, not two, but 3 teams in the AFC East. I mean, everybody is over 500 right now, and if the playoffs started today, all 4 of those teams would make the playoffs. They're in a dogfight. To answer the question, I think they're going to be fine, but they are in a dogfight for this division right now.
They'll be fine. And yes, they should respect that the Patriots and the who's the team I'm leaving out? The Jets are in that they both got winning records.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm being honest with you, if Buffalo just does do what they've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years, they'll be fine. Miami will be fine. I don't believe New England, and I don't believe the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Now
think
you're
if they
talking
just
about play. You're talking about for the division, right? You're talking about for the AFC East crown, right?
yes,
Okay, I'm with you there.
yes,
I'm
yes.
with you there. I
I
think
mean,
it's
no. Let me take that back. The Patriots aren't making the playoffs.
okay.
The
Okay,
Patriots aren't making the playoffs.
I hope you're right.
If I'm if I'm being honest, and I know we talked about the Jets last week or maybe 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, we talked
and,
about it
and
last week.
and it makes sense that they would make the playoffs. It
Mm-hmm.
does. Just what they're doing and the rest of their schedule, it makes sense that they would do it.
Yeah.
Um, I am still of the ilk that I will love to wait and see till week 16, week 17, week 18.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at who's competing for those spots. I mean, we watched the Chargers Sunday night go up against San Francisco, and like I said last week, the Chargers have these injuries. They've
Yeah,
somehow been fighting through it, but they're 5-4, and
right.
they got Kansas City coming up, and I don't think they're gonna beat the Chiefs on Sunday. Not with those guys still being out. I don't think they're beating Kansas City, so that puts the Chargers at 5-5. And I ain't gonna front, bro. That coach still questionable to me, man. Staley still, he got that itch in him. Go for it on fourth down. I mean, I love the aggressiveness, but the more times you're aggressive, the more chances highly that it's gonna cost you football games. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you some W's. So I don't know if I'm all in 100% on the Chargers. And then when you look elsewhere in the conference,
So where you stand right now, you are higher on the Jets than you are the Chargers of making the playoffs.
um, at first I was high on both of them getting in, but after just kind of looking around the conference and just kind of seeing the schedule, seeing how teams are playing right now, I'm not so sure about the Chargers right now. It's 50-50 for me with them at this point. Look at the South. I mean, ain't no wild cards coming out the
No,
South.
no, no. I'm also saying, are you higher on the Chargers than the Jets? Is more so what my question is.
Oh, right now I'm higher on the Jets right now.
Wow. Okay.
Jets are healthy. They know.
Healthier. I'll say healthier. They lost Brees Hall, and that was a big
Agree,
loss.
agree. Yeah, big, and the offensive lineman too.
Yeah.
That was a big deal too. But well, not that this guy is a replacement for Brees Hall, but I do like the fact that they addressed it by trading for James Robinson from the Jags, and we kind of knew, and I think we had this talk about those two running backs, Etienne and James Robinson, and at some
Yeah.
point that they was gonna break those two up, and the Jets was able to get
Yeah,
James
because James
Robinson.
Robinson, and quite honestly, my opinion of James Robinson, and I don't know if his play is kind of faltered or something. I know he had an injury last year,
Uh huh.
but I feel like James Robinson should be starting somewhere. So I mean, I don't know if this is audition tape to get a starting job somewhere else, but I feel like James Robinson should be starting somewhere.
Mm. Well, it's kind of what it's kind of running back by committee in New York right now.
Right? Yeah, yeah. But if I'm basing on what I saw James Robinson do his rookie year,
Mm-hmm.
again he got injured in his second year, so this is his third year. But if I'm basing on what I saw his rookie year, I feel like he should be starting somewhere, and it's plenty of places he could start um in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
Plenty of
I agree
places
with
he
that.
could start. Like he could start in Carolina right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's a place.
No shade to those other backs, but he could start right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So you're are you high on? So you're higher on the Chargers than
I'm
you are.
higher on the Chargers, and I get that they got a tougher schedule, but I'm higher on the Chargers. And I get they. But Bosa being out is an issue. Both of their starting receivers are out. I get that they have issues. I also believe that at some point they're going to come back in the next 2 weeks,
They'll come back.
and I think they'll be fine. And I think they'll
Yeah.
be fine. If I had to pick who was going, and obviously both of them couldn't make the playoffs,
Yeah.
but if I had to pick,
Mm-hmm.
I would pick Chargers over Jets.
Okay. All right. No, I can respect that. At least the Jets kind of know who they are. They're not gonna try to win shootouts with the quarterback, who I don't think is really playing that great. I think he's playing okay.
That's the main reason why I gotta pick the Chargers over them. I know what Justin Herbert is going to do.
Yeah. No. Sure. Sure. And we know who Justin Herbert is from a quarterback perspective. If we're just talking the quarterbacks, he's obviously leaps and bounds better than Zach Wilson. But as far as like the teams around them, you can make a case that the Jets as a team right now is playing some better football
Playing
than the
better,
Chargers
playing better.
are. Yeah.
But I think Joey, is it Joey or Nick that's on the Chargers? It's Joey. If Joey come back on that defense,
Mm-hmm. Oh
that
yeah,
defense
they're gonna be a
slightly
problem.
that defense changed.
They're gonna be a problem. Yeah.
That defense changed. That looked better for Khalil Mack. That looked better.
Yep.
That looked better for the back end. So that changes drastically when Joey Bosa comes back. So
Yeah.
like we saying the Jets are playing better right now, but there's nobody on that Jets defensive roster that's going to do what Joey Bosa do.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But they do got some guys on there.
Yeah, they have a good team.
That
They have a
can-
good defensive team.
Yeah, I mean,
But they don't have that dude.
Yeah,
They don't have that dude yet.
Sauce Money Gardner is playing some
A good
great ball
cornerback
right now.
but he ain't that dude yet.
No, I know, but he's.
Yeah.
I mean, as a rookie, he's playing.
Yeah.
Some good ball right now, and Quinnen Williams is
A
you
good
doing his
good
thing.
line. Yeah.
doing his thing. I mean, if you want to look at the resume of what they've done so far, I mean, coming back on the Bills, being down by what was they down by 13 points a couple weeks ago? They held the Bills to 17 points. Like that.
I mean, I hate to be that guy. But I that's more about Josh Allen. And let's be clear, both of these losses are more about Josh Allen than it was. Both of these losses are from a defensive perspective on the other teams. This is more about Josh Allen slumming than it was about the defense putting on a phenomenal. Like those picks were thrown to Patrick Peterson.
Yeah,
they were thrown to him.
Mm-hmm. So you think Peterson had nothing to do with it, or you just?
I mean, he caught it.
He
caught it.
Okay, I was about to say like
I listened to him say on the second pick, I think it was, that he understood the tendencies of what the receiver was doing. So when he saw a receiver do something, that he went immediately to look at the quarterback because he knew the quarterback was going to throw it right to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't doubt that, but that's still a Josh Allen making a mistake as opposed to Patrick Peterson. And I don't want to seem like I'm taking credit away from Peterson.
Yeah.
Because like he said, he made the study, but Josh Allen threw a terrible throw on both of them.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree with the throws being terrible. I mean, Patrick Peterson, he kind of had to come over to get that on one of those picks.
That first one was thrown directly to him.
The second, I'm talking about the second one. The second one, he had to come, to the ball to get that. So yeah, if you're talking about Josh Allen and how he's been playing the past couple of weeks, yeah, it's certainly on him. The fumble.
What a fucking game, by the way, man.
It was. It was.
I don't think we said that. What a game.
Game of the year.
Easily. Easily.
So far. Yeah. I mean, God, that game ended like almost 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
On Sunday. That's how wild that game was.
And not even like a dragging game. The game was moving. Offenses were moving. Defenses were making plays. Like that was a good fucking game. That was a good game.
You couldn't change the channel, bro. Like you had to keep it on the game and find out, okay, what else crazy is going to happen in this game. I mean, from the recovery of the Josh Allen, fumble and then the snap, to the Vikings getting that touchdown right there, and then you think, oh, the Vikings got this, but then they left like 50 seconds on the clock left, and so
Mm-hmm.
you knew, hey, that's too much time, so they tied up, and then it's overtime, and you know, we all know how it ended at that point. So
Yeah, the only thing that made this game more easier to watch for me was Pittsburgh having their first dominating win of the year. This is a
against
dominating
the
win.
Saints, right?
Yeah, this is a dominating win. Welcome back to. I know you can't see it. I had to throw my TJ Watt on. You know what I'm saying? Cause welcome back, TJ Watt.
Mm.
Welcome back, man. Like, look. Look. We got an easier schedule. I'm not here to talk playoffs and how we might make the playoffs. I'm not here to talk
But
that.
see, but even I
I'm being
mentioned that the
humble.
schedule was soft. I made
I'm
mention that
You
the
did.
schedule was soft.
But I'm being humble right now because we've been shit all year. So this ain't the time to switch up all of a sudden. Let's string off a few wins, a few dominating wins where we look like a actual football team, and then maybe I'll get a little excited. I'm not gonna get excited yet. I'm just saying I can see, I got vision. I can see what could possibly happen. My goal is still get Tomlin the record for most winnings, consecutive winning seasons. That's still the goal for me. That's a successful season to
How
me.
many
But
more wins does he have to get to do that this year? What are they?
we are
Three and 6?
3-6. My math is terrible.
So six.
I
So
know
basically six. So
six,
basically six
right?
wins. Six more
Yeah,
wins against the rest of that schedule there.
yeah.
Just off the top of my head, the rest of the NFC
We
South,
got
Falcons,
but
Panthers. I think the Colts is on that
yep,
schedule.
they are.
I'm missing a
We
team.
got Baltimore twice.
Yeah, the Ravens twice,
We
Cincinnati
have
again,
yep,
Cleveland again,
Cleveland again.
and that eighth game.
The eighth game
Oh, the
is
Raiders. The
yep,
Raiders.
yep,
The Raiders,
yep.
who are some trash right now. I mean, I could
It's
see.
looking more like we can get the winning season. More like we can get the winning season than we can make the playoffs.
I see four definites. I see four definites,
But I don't even know. I don't know what's definite anymore. I know TJ Watt is back, and that changes things from my perspective wise for me.
yeah.
But we
But
we got
Minka's still out,
issues.
right? Minka's still out, right?
He's probably going to be out for another week or two. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
But wow, get well soon, Minka Fitzpatrick. But Casey,
Mm-hmm.
I like that dude. I like him. I like that dude, man. I think his name is Desmond Casey, but the guy who played safety and he just came back off of IR and started this week, and that boy looked good. That boy looked good.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. I think I see about four more like that. Like you could feel like real confident about, and I'm talking about the NFC South, the Raiders, the Colts. Like I think those four, with the way they're playing, you probably got those, and then the division games, it's really, it's really a crapshoot at that point. And,
Well, what would you say about Jeff Saturday got the Colts playing like so they got some common sense?
hey, did you see Matt Ryan's 37-year-old ass running for 38 yards
Yeah,
down the sideline?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, man.
Oh man, but that's more of an indictment on the Raiders. I don't think that's really on Indianapolis. That's just the Raiders just letting a old man just gash him for 30 something yards like
Congrats
that.
to Jeff Saturday on his first win, and regardless of how I feel about him walking into this coaching job, and he won. He beat an NFL team.
Yep. And let's be clear. I don't have anything against Jeff Saturday. It was more so the process of how he got hired by Jim Irsay, and the stuff that he said and the reasons why he said what he said, which to me really didn't make no sense. That, I mean, why would you say, hey, I like a guy with no experience. I mean, that kind of tells me, hey, I think you're just trying to lose games so you could get this high draft pick. Is what it
I
sound like.
wouldn't.
That's what
I
it
wouldn't
sounded like.
go. Sure, that's not how I took that. Look, look. At the end of the day, Jeff Saturday is a member of that community, the Colts community.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a he's a Steve Nash hire. I think we got to verb it that way now. Or like he's a Steve Nash hire. He's
Right.
like,
Right.
like the guy that people like. You don't doubt his football IQ, and you just got to kind of roll the dice and see what happens. And I mean, he's interim. Let's be clear. He don't got the job.
Right.
So like, hey man, if you interim and do your thing, man, who am I? Who am I, man?
Yeah. Right. Right. Nah, I hate
I
it.
wish the brother success. I just
I hate
thought
it.
that was kind of wild how he got the job.
I ain't gonna front though. That team looked different than what they did
Yeah,
the first few
yeah.
weeks.
And then I don't know if it's because they were happy to have somebody else there, or I mean, I'm sure the people in that locker room know what he means to that franchise, and maybe that was the spark.
Maybe.
Or maybe the Raiders are just that trash. That's also a component
Oh
because
yeah.
I saw people.
But we never. But I think this is the first game we've seen the Colts look this good throughout the so far through.
I mean,
weeks.
have they played a team as bad as Las Vegas?
They're in the AFC South, so yes, they have.
Well, who's bad? Who is bad as them? Is you talking about the Texans?
Texans, Jacksonville.
I wouldn't necessarily say that about Jacksonville. Jacksonville isn't as bad as the Raiders right now.
I don't know. I guess it depends on like what aspect you looked at it. I mean, the records are similar. I know Jacksonville's got younger players that don't look like they can't play. I know the Raiders are old in certain spots, and the Raiders, let's be clear,
They got Devontae Adams.
They got Devontae Adams, and these guys had 17-point leads 3 times in the season, and they blew all 3. So I guess it just kind of depends on how you look at it. The Raiders look good for portions of a game, and then they blow it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Jacksonville, those first 2 weeks was good, but then it just kind of slid downhill from that point. So, yeah, I think the Colts have played some teams as bad as the Raiders are.
Okay, that's fair. How you feel about Derek Carr crying at the podium? I seen people like they're daring him on Twitter, and I'm like, don't dare dare this dude, man. Cut it out, man.
So he's not playing for them next year. That's what I kind of took out of it. Me personally, with the crying and stuff. I think you got to try to contain that as much as possible from a public perspective. I mean, if you feel that way, hey, do it away from the camera. But I think he just, to me, I think he's gone after this year, because from what he said, I took out of that is that he's saying niggas on the team ain't putting in the work, for success, to get this team on track. That's what I took out of what he said.
So you feel like he throwing people under the bus?
Yeah, he definitely throwing people under the bus. He definitely doing that. And I
thought that he said, it's frustrating because he knows what people do in order to win, meaning how they sacrifice, like they sacrifice their bodies. Right. And put in overtime to win, and it's frustrating because of that. I thought he was saying, maybe I misheard him. I thought he was saying that the team is putting in the work and still not getting the result, and that's what's frustrating. And that's why he's so frustrating.
Yeah, he also said that it's frustrating knowing that there's other guys not putting in the work, and I'm kind of
I didn't hear that.
And I'm paraphrasing that because I don't think he said those exact words.
Okay,
but what he said made me think, he's calling some dudes to the carpet, and
damn,
people on Twitter and social media saying, "Oh, Derek Carr's just being a leader. He's a great leader and all this stuff," and he might be that. he very well might be a good leader in that locker room. He's been there 9 seasons with the team, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the dude is tired of this organization. I think he wants to get out. I could see him. You know what? And I give you a team, and maybe this is just me just kind of putting a prediction out there.
Sure.
If I'm the New York Giants and I get, the Giants are having a successful season, they got to figure out what to do with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And I think Daniel Jones is at a point where he's played some good football. I think Brian Dable has put him in positions to not be turnover prone. He's only got 2 interceptions on the season. He's also got 2 fumbles through 10 games, which is not bad considering how they've been playing with the lack of weapons that he's had.
But I would also say that, and I haven't watched too many Giants games, and certainly not in depth.
Yeah.
But it seems if they're not having him throw the ball as often.
They're not. Like
Yeah,
they ran Saquon 35 times against the Texans on Sunday. So
right.
Yeah, they're not asking him to do a lot, but when he's asked to make a couple throws, he's done that. When they've asked him to maybe run for a first down, he's done that.
Right.
But they haven't given him a big volume of responsibility to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the Giants and I decide, you know what, we just need an upgrade at the quarterback spot, and maybe we don't think this guaranteed money is good enough for Daniel Jones or this contract. Right. Look no further than Derek Carr being the New York Giant next year.
The reason why, and I'm not gonna say I disagree. I'm gonna say I don't know about it. Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm hearing the issue is that this is time where Daniel Jones need a re-up and Saquon Barkley need a re-up. I don't think you bring in the ilk of a Derek Carr because Derek Carr gonna demand bread. Like that's gonna require bread. And for me, if you're gonna pay bread, you might as well spend the bread with the dude you drafted. Especially on the ilk of you bringing the success that's been happening this year.
Right.
I don't think you bring, and let's be clear, Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. That's I don't think that's in debate. Mm-hmm. But I think Daniel Jones' upside is higher. Yeah. For what it's worth.
Yeah.
I think that he is starting to become a name, a stay, like a mainstay. Mm-hmm. When you think Giants, you think Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Saquon Barkley number 1, but if you think Giants, you think Daniel Jones. You look at that dude like that's the quarterback.
Right.
I think that's what's going on. I think they would pay Daniel Jones before they would pay Derek Carr. Because also Derek Carr would also require that, hey man, you got to put weapons around me. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr has the cachet to say, hey man, I'm not going on this field with the likes of, I don't even know who their receivers,
Richie James Jr.
and Galladay, who Nicky is constantly dogging.
Yeah, he gonna be out of there. I think Galladay gonna be out of there. This year. But Shepard coming back off an injury. Yeah, that's not enough. They legit don't have a number 1 receiver, even though they paid Galladay to be there. Knowing that you're Derek Carr and you have Devontae Adams, you go from that to Giants. And I know there's the Odell rumors, but I don't believe any of that stuff. Like I don't believe that the Giants is even in his thoughts of consideration to come back.
Really?
No. I don't believe that.
Why are you so certain on that? Why are you so certain of that?
Because I don't think the Giants are a Super Bowl contender, and I guess it depends on what he's looking for. Is he looking for?
Oh, you mean Odell Beckham is not interested to come into the Giants? I thought you were saying the Giants aren't interested in getting Odell.
Oh no. I'm saying that I don't think the Giants are on Odell's radar.
Got you.
As far as a team,
I can see that.
I think he's looking at teams like the Chiefs.
The Buffalo Bills.
Super Bowl contending teams. What the Giants are doing, I'm gonna give them credit. Give Chief Rocka all the flowers for predicting the season.
No,
But
no, that is not what he predicted.
what?
We
Cheese
were
Rucker?
sitting there, yeah, we were sitting there trying to tell him
Hmm.
that the Giants are probably going to have a great start of the season because of the record, and he was like, he don't really know.
Well, he said they go 10-7. He did say 10-7, and he
10-7. I think that, but I think I'm pretty certain that me and you looked at the schedule and said they could easily be 6-2
yeah,
by
and
mid season.
that's what they were.
And that's what they were.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And when I asked him, hey, what's your prediction? He was like, look, I got him going. I got him getting 10 wins, and that's when I kind of laughed it off. Like,
They might be better than 10-7 is what I'm getting at.
um, it depends, man.
Yeah,
It
obviously, but
depends. I tell you
six
what,
and
though. I tell you what. The Giants, they, and I don't think they're gonna do this. I don't think they're gonna win the NFC East, but they got a real opportunity to take advantage of what we saw
yeah.
against Philly last night, or the other night. They really got an opportunity with them being one game back. We saw how Philly lost that game against Washington the other night. I guess we could kind of get into that. Um, I think for Philly, it's a loss. You get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You're still
We
a
know they were
contender.
going to lose a game. Like,
Yep, we knew
let's
that.
be
We
that was
knew
going to
that.
happen. As a matter of fact, they're going to in my prediction, they're going to lose two more games this year.
Okay,
they'll be was that 14-3?
14-3, 14-3.
Yeah, they'll lose two more games this year.
Mm-hmm.
They'll still be the best team. Yeah, they'll still be the best team in the league record wise, but they'll lose two more games in my estimation.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could see that. But I guess the point I'm trying to get to is that we saw Washington run the football, and even though they didn't average, 4.5 per carry, I think they averaged like 3 yards a carry, but they still kept, giving these guys carries. They kept giving Robinson carries. They kept giving Gibson carries. The key there was Heineke on third down. He was good. He was
Yeah,
good. He was good when it came to third down, and
yeah.
it helps when you got that boy Scary Terry, man. That dude he's the man, bro. That dude knows how to he knows how to lead, bro. Like,
Well, I'll say this about McLaurin.
mm-hmm,
Uh, better quarterback. I don't. He's definitely top five. Better quarterback. He's definitely top five.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I can see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He's definitely
You're
top.
saying if he had a better quarterback, he'd be
Yeah,
top five.
he's a top five receiver.
Yeah, I can
That's
see
a
that.
fact.
Yep,
That's a fact.
I can see that. I
Yeah.
can definitely see that. So it appears that you can run on the Eagles. You can kill the clock, and even the Eagles still had a chance to win because Heineke threw that bomb that got picked off. But the Eagles, they still had a chance to win. I think the refs screwed up on a couple of issues there. Number one, the Goddard face mask. They should have called the face mask there, and that turnover should have gone back. The Eagles should have had the ball still there. And Goddard got hurt on that play, from what I heard. He's going to be out.
Goddard got. Yeah, he's gonna miss time.
Yeah, he's going to be out for a few weeks or whenever. And then the other play, which I thought was the right call, but the moment wasn't right. The end of the game where Heineke kind of gives himself up, and Brandon Graham, runs at him and hits him, and then Heineke does the whole, hey, where's the flag at, and they throw the yellow out. I hated the way it ended, for the Eagles in that particular play, but it was the right call. I just hate the moment that it was called.
Not for nothing, man. And I know we gonna have a conversation about who we got collapsing, who we got making a run.
Yep.
Everybody in the NFC East. I mean, look, the Eagles are going to be the Eagles. They're fine. So I don't think it's worth mentioning them.
Yep.
Um, Tuesday morning, I'm walking to work, and of course, after the Commanders, beat an undefeated team, spirits is high. It's people outside with their gear on. People outside talking about, having conversations about how good the Commanders played and they got to win and all those types of things. Somebody said to me Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
that Dallas has two tough games coming up in the next 2 weeks. I forget what he said. I forget who the teams were, but
Mm-hmm.
let me find out for you. So
Yeah,
I ain't.
they play the Texans next week, and they got the Falcons after that.
That's the Cowboys next 2 games.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying the
Oh
command. I thought
no,
you were saying the
the
Commanders.
Commanders have two easy games, right?
Yep, yep.
But the Cowboys, I'm sorry, play
Minnesota
the and then the Giants after that.
on Thanksgiving. Yep.
Yep. So that then the Giants have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting. Oh, they got a simpler game. They got the Lions. The point was,
Yep.
but then that third week they got the Commanders. The point was,
Yep.
is that the Commanders could be in second place in the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a far going thought.
Right. Yep.
That's not a far going thought. If you based on the way they're playing right
Yeah.
now, the teams they've just beaten
Right.
and prior.
The Giants could be whenever the Giants play the Eagles, whatever week that is, the Giants could be one game back of the Eagles if everything kind of plays,
to their favor.
to their favor. Like if you beat the Lions and you could somehow beat Dallas and then you come out of that and beat the Commanders, all while Philly I know they got the Colts coming up on Sunday. They got Green Bay, well, we'll see if they're gonna be a resurgent Green Bay. And then I think they got an easy one after that. Maybe
They have the Titans after that.
The Titans, got it, Titans, okay. And then after the Titans, I think it's the Giants. I think, right?
And I ain't gonna hold you.
What up?
The Eagles are smoking all three. Not they ain't gonna say smoke, but the Eagles are beating these three teams.
You confident in that?
I am confident that they beat the Packers. I am confident they beat the Colts for certain.
Okay.
The two teams, I told you I had them having 2 losses.
Yep.
I think the loss is to the Cowboys, and I think the
say.
second loss is to the Giants. But I don't.
The second Giant game, right?
The second Giants game, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So,
okay.
I think that's where their 3 losses at, especially considering that those are at the end of the year.
Yep.
The Giants and the Cowboys at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see them already having shit locked up.
Okay.
Probably maybe packing it in for the Giants and just losing to the Cowboys.
Right. Yeah, maybe they got the 1 seed wrapped up or whatever seed they got, and maybe nothing to play for. Yeah, I can see something like that, but make no mistake about it. It's going to be exciting to see if the Giants are a game back by the time that first Eagles matchup comes. They're going to have their chance.
The Giants would have their litmus test, their statement game to win. They would have their statement game to win.
They're going to have their chance, and especially if Saquon is still healthy and he's still doing what he's doing, they are going to have a chance. And those injuries for Philly the other night, unfortunate. I think they'll be fine. But it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be an interesting race. Getting to that this topic about who's gonna slide and who's gonna surge. Let's start with who's gonna surge. Give me a team out of each conference who you think is gonna surge.
Just one team.
Yep.
Okay, I had questions.
Yep.
When you say surge, are we talking playoffs?
To get a playoff spot, yes.
Get a playoff spot, and 2, are we stating the obvious teams?
If you want,
because
okay,
so I'll give you some. The Chiefs might not lose another game this year. That's one of the obvious ones. Okay. The Eagles, like I said, I got them losing 2 games. That's obvious.
Okay.
In the NFC, the 49ers are about to go on a run. The 49ers, I don't know how obvious or unobvious that is, but the 49ers are about to go on a run, and I think that run is going to get them the division.
Okay.
The Commanders, I think, are very capable. The teams I wrote down for the NFC are the Giants, Commanders, Eagles, and 49ers. Um, but the 49ers are definitely about to win this division. Um, so that's who I'll go with for the NFC.
Okay.
On the AFC side, like I said, the Chiefs obviously.
Yeah.
Um, I think the Chargers, man. I think the Chargers, but I am also no, I'm not. I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna. I'm going to be objective. I'm going to be objective. I'll go with the Chargers.
Okay.
I want to say Pittsburgh so bad, Trey. I just want you to know I want to say Pittsburgh so bad. But I recognize that it's biased. But I wanna say Pittsburgh so bad. So bad I wanna say Pittsburgh.
To make a playoff spot.
I do. I wanna say Pittsburgh so bad.
You funny, man.
And that runs in line with I got the Jets and the Patriots falling off anyway.
Okay.
But I want to say Pittsburgh so bad.
Yeah. Well, had y'all not lost to them AFC East teams, I'd give y'all a chance. That's the issue.
That's the problem. I know.
That's the issue.
I know.
Because all four of them niggas is in a playoff spot right now.
Right. I know.
That's the problem. But
I know.
Yeah, you mentioned the Chargers. Yeah, I guess I like their schedule. Kansas City, Arizona. In Arizona, I think they'll beat up on Arizona. The Raiders, that's a dub. Miami, that's gonna be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a tough one. Titans will make
Toss
it tough
up.
on them. Yeah, Titans
Toss
will
up.
make it tough.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's the Colts, Rams, and the Broncos after that. I mean, I could see them going 6-2 the rest of the way. That would put them 11-6.
11-6.
11-6. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I don't know if I'm gonna say this because of the division they're in, but Tampa, certainly looks like they're gonna go on a nice little run here.
Yeah. I guess I didn't think about the South because the South is trash. So I guess that's why I didn't think about Tampa. I guess that's why I didn't think about Tampa.
Yeah.
But somebody obviously has to win a division and get into the playoffs.
Yep.
And if I had to say who would do that,
Yep.
Obviously I've got you got to go with Tampa. You just have to.
I like what I saw from them against Seattle on Sunday. I like.
Well, they're just the best team. The Falcons are trash. The Saints are trash. Man, talk about a letdown. The Saints this year. I had them making it into the playoffs, and between Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston, I know Winston had an injury earlier on.
Why aren't they playing Jameis? What the hell?
I don't know. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't care, but I don't know. You would think that maybe he's in a doghouse because Andy Dalton is playing, and Damian talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton is playing trash.
Right.
I mean, super trash.
That's why I'm like, what is this love affair with Andy Dalton right now? I mean, James. I mean, niggas is really like this 30 interception season really got dudes scared to play the dude.
I hope he's exercised those demons by now.
But he's not throwing 30 interceptions again.
No, I mean the stigma. I'm sorry. That what I meant to say is I hope he exercised that stigma. I hope that people don't still look at Jameis Winston, and specifically people in that locker room, don't still look at Jameis Winston like you the dude that threw 30 picks. Like what was that 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, almost a couple years ago. So it's like, and he started last year. Like he had a good record. Before
he had a decent.
He got hurt.
He was good statistically.
Was decent, efficient before he went down with the injury.
Yeah.
So
and we know that he's capable of hitting a home run. So that's like. And again, we really just regurgitate what Damian said, but it's we know that he's capable of hitting a home run.
Yeah.
Way more capable of it than Andy Dalton has proven to be in his past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know either. And that to their disadvantage, they are continuing to start Andy Dalton. But I'm glad they did this week when we needed a win. So
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, yeah.
Facts.
So in the AFC, a team that I think is going to ascend. I guess I gotta go with the Chargers. I don't see anybody like even a Cincinnati, and I get people aren't counting Cincinnati out, but you got to remember Cincinnati's got that first place schedule, right?
Yeah.
So they still got to play Tampa, they still got to play the Chiefs, they got to play New England. That's gonna be like a playoff game, later in December, and they got to play Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I don't know that Cincinnati is that team that's going to take that surge. I kind of like what the Chargers got going for them, even with the injuries, and they're going to get those guys back. And you look at the schedule; it sets up for them to make a nice little run right there. So
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
the team that takes a nosedive in the NFC for you.
You just said it, Cincinnati Bengals.
In the NFC or
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, NFC. I'm sorry.
uh huh.
This pains me to say this, man.
I think
I got two
you kind
teams.
of alluded to it. I think you
Seattle was one. Seattle was one.
Yeah,
Seattle was one.
you kind of alluded to it.
But the other one that pains me to mention, man, I don't know if I'm being a prisoner of the moment of Dallas losing to Green Bay this past Sunday,
Uh-huh.
but Dallas might miss the playoffs.
I think you're being a prisoner of the moment.
Oh, okay, okay,
I think you are.
and I'll accept that
Mhm.
because I'll accept that. Dallas might take a drop, but I'm
now
well,
history says that that's highly possible. We've seen some Cowboy collapses over the years.
man,
So
man.
it wouldn't shock me if it really happened, but I'm just
I'm
looking.
watching.
Right.
I'm watching. I watched a healthy amount of that Dallas Packers game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that cat is really just that fast,
Mm-hmm.
or Anthony Brown is really just not a good corner.
Mm-hmm. The Watson, that dude that burnt
Watson, yeah,
Yeah.
that consistently burned that defense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case. Look, I know Michael Parsons is still Michael Parsons, and he's going to be a defensive player of the year candidate.
Yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll say he just didn't have a great game Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll say that.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys just had a rough afternoon. Well, I don't even want to say they had a rough afternoon. They was up 14 points
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, right.
That
Right.
game was there to win. They just collapsed in the end.
I think what bothers me, and collapse. That's the collapse.
Yeah.
Look, that's just not the game you lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, and maybe that's why I'm a prisoner of the moment. That's not the game you lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not the game.
But does it say more about a possible Green Bay resurgence? Because that's kind of one of my teams.
I can't see it.
That's one of my teams that I think is going to take this second half surge.
You didn't say it though.
And maybe get a spot.
You didn't say it though.
I know. I'm holding on for dear life because I really don't know yet right now.
I think they lost to a bad football team. I think Dallas lost to a bad football team that has the respect of a good football team. So that's why it's like when you know you're not playing a good football. Let's Aaron Rodgers and that what's his name again? The wide receiver, number 9.
Watson. Yeah.
Watson.
Mm-hmm.
You lost because Watson and Aaron Rodgers beat y'all. That's what happened.
Yep.
That's what happened. And Aaron Jones. I'm going to throw Aaron Jones in there too because Aaron Jones was cooking.
Mm-hmm.
But you got beat by the 2 stars and a guy who kind of popped up out of nowhere, even though they're trying to make him seem like I heard in the broadcast, they was trying to promote him like, oh, this is the guy they've been waiting to turn on and hopefully become a number 1. And that's how they was pushing him while he was cooking. But that's a bad loss for Dallas. I can see Dallas collapsing, but for certain, the one I'm standing by is Seattle, and I'm only sticking to Seattle because San Fran is coming.
That's the one team I hope.
That's the thing.
That's
San
the
Fran's
one team
coming.
I hope doesn't collapse because I love what Geno Smith is
Mm-hmm.
doing, and I
Mm-hmm.
love what the team. I love Pete Carroll and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. And
But San Fran is coming.
yeah, no, I get that.
And have they played San Fran yet?
Yes, they did, and they lost to San Fran,
Okay.
and they they,
Yeah.
they did lose to San Fran.
And they're gonna lose again.
Yeah, and I could see that. I could see that being the case, but just kind of looking back at the loss to Tampa, I think if that game is in the States, bruh, I think Seattle finds a way to beat Tampa Bay for some reason, bruh. You want a neutral field. It's not your crowd. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Mm-hmm.
that was supposed to be a Tampa home game. If it was in the States, it would have been in Tampa. But
Oh,
still,
uh-huh.
like if that game is not overseas, I think Seattle finds a way to at least play better football than they did.
Yeah. I'm not what ifing it like that. I feel you though, but I'm not what ifing it like that. They
Yeah,
they they lost.
yeah.
And
They
let's be
lost.
clear.
They lost. Yeah.
And let's be clear.
Mm.
Props to Seattle for what they've achieved so far. Geno Smith, that running Kenneth Walker is balling.
Yeah.
You know, props to them. But nah, I don't believe them. I don't believe
You
them.
you think they miss out on the playoffs?
I think if I'm thinking about the rest of the seeding, the rest of the teams in the NFC,
Mm-hmm.
the Giants probably go. One team comes out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
One team comes out of. Another team has to come out of the West. I don't think. Oh man, hold on.
But
They might.
but that's what I'm saying.
Right,
Like,
right.
you got to look at who else is like. Because look,
Because what I'm in turn saying, because no other team is coming out of the North or the South.
yep.
Just
We
so
agree there.
so we're
100%.
talking about the West and the East.
Yep.
For Seattle to miss out, uh, everybody in the East or three teams out of the East would have to make it.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
No, you're saying it correctly.
Okay.
In those East teams, they still gotta play each other a bunch of times.
Right.
Like the Giants still gotta play the Eagles twice. They gotta play Washington twice, and they still got the Thanksgiving matchup with the Cowboys. So those teams
Okay.
are gonna beat each other up down the
So
stretch.
is the collapse? So is it a collapse if they go on a losing streak and slide into the 7th slot and make the playoffs in Seattle? Is that still a collapse? Or is it not a collapse because they made the playoffs?
I would say it's not a collapse because they backed
Okay.
into the playoffs, and that's more of an indictment on the rest of the conference, and not so much,
Right.
Seattle.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I'm pulling up Seattle's schedule.
I'm sitting here thinking that maybe I didn't pick a good collapse because now we're saying who was in the play. So essentially the question is who was in the playoff run that's not going to make the playoffs.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at the Seahawks schedule. Raiders, Rams,
Mm-hmm.
Panthers. Like they could win all three right there.
100%.
Niners, that's the tough one. Chiefs in Kansas City, that's the tough one.
Yeah.
Jets at home, Rams at home.
Again, I'm talking, and those three games are tough, by the way. But my reasoning for Seattle is because San Fran is coming.
Yeah.
And my idea and my thinking is that when San Fran comes and wins the division, that Seattle might not make the wild card.
Gotcha.
Now that we sit here and hashed it out, there's no other good teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you look at them bubble teams,
okay, well let's do this.
Like
Washington, like Atlanta, even though they have a losing record.
Yeah, Arizona, even though they have a losing record.
Okay,
Green Bay, those teams on the bubble.
So the next question is and you asked it already? Do I believe that Green Bay is going on a surge? Green Bay has the Titans and the Eagles the next two games, and both. I ain't gonna say both of them are losses.
Tough games.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Rams.
Yep.
The Dolphins.
Tough game.
Then the Vikings.
And who knows what the Vikings might have wrapped up if the Vikings continue to win.
Fair
Maybe they
point.
rock something up.
Fair point. Fair point.
And then Detroit, right?
And then Detroit.
Yeah.
But we're talking about possibly 4 losses.
And that would put them at 10 losses altogether,
Right.
Yeah. So you're not snagging a wild card at 7-10.
But if they beat the Titans, and then they beat the Vikings, you're talking about 8 losses.
Okay.
Is 8 losses is 9-8 enough to get in? In the NFC, maybe.
It's possible. Yeah. Because
maybe
again, them teams in the East, they're gonna beat each other up. They gotta play each other. That's the thing you gotta look at.
I guess the question is do I think Seattle do I believe Seattle's going to have a better second half than Green Bay? If you're asking me to you really I feel like this is an NFL therapy session at this point.
Yeah. I think they do though.
You think Seattle has a better season and gets in the playoffs?
I think they do. Geno's just played too efficient for it to just fall apart, man. Because let's be clear.
How many losses did you have Seattle having?
At the start of the year?
No. For the second half of the season.
Oh, 2.
You only had them having 2. Okay, let me look. Let me pull that back up.
Yeah.
You only had them having 2. I win, loss. Okay.
Because I got them. The first 3: Raiders, Rams, Panthers.
Panthers, those are wins. They lose to San Fran. They lose to Kansas City.
Jets. That'll be
toss up, maybe.
Yeah.
And then the Rams. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shit. So who takes the collapse?
Right. Well, so the Giants are the 5 seed.
I don't know that anybody collapses then because the 2 seed. I mean, I'm sorry, the 3 wild cards look like they're going to be the Giants, the Cowboys, and to my guesstimation, the Seahawks. Right. But let's say the Seahawks win a division. The 49ers are going to be in the wild card.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's who's got the schedule. Like, let me look up Washington's schedule. Like,
Washington got a decent schedule too. That's another thing.
Yeah, Texans, Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got the Giants. Then they're on a bye. Then they get the Giants again.
Yeah.
San Francisco. That's tough.
Yeah.
Browns at home. Dallas at home.
If you're asking me to call it, I see 1 and a possible
7, because they could get the 7-5 with these next 2.
Right.
They get the 7-5, and then
they might only lose. They might lose 2 more games. That's 10-7. 10-7 gets it done.
Yeah. That gets you in. 10.
That gets you in.
Has to get you in.
That gets you in.
And
I mean, some people could say I could look at the Cleveland Browns. Okay, let me take that back.
Watson will be
right
for that.
Right, and so no, I'm taking that back. I see 4. They're not gonna. They're gonna split with the Giants. They're gonna split with the Giants.
I can see that.
They're gonna lose to the They're gonna lose to the 49ers.
Yep.
I gotta see what Deshaun Watson look like, but Deshaun Watson. I'm gonna give them that loss.
Yeah.
That's 8.
And that Dallas game, that final week, that might be for a wild card. That might be winner take.
Right. Damn. So 5 win. I mean, 3 loss. Let's say 3-8. So let's say 8, 10 and. it's 10-7, and we got Seattle being what?
What are they? 6-4, and got them winning
2 more losses. You said.
Got them winning 6 more. So no, 5 more. I'm sorry, 5 more.
11-6. 11-6.
11-6. I'm sorry.
11-6 Seahawks. 10-7 Commanders. Projections, obviously. Yep. The Giants. Then the Giants.
Their schedule's kind of rough.
So is that where you see the collapse?
Let's see.
And the Giants are 7, but the Giants are 7-2.
They're 7-2. They got to beat Detroit on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
That will put them at 8-2. Then they got Dallas in Dallas. Then it's the Commanders. Then the Eagles. Then the Commanders after that. And then you're in Minnesota.
I mean, let's speculate. Let's do the speculations.
Yep.
They lose to Dallas in your estimation.
I think they lose to Dallas. I think
they lose to the Eagles. Okay, that's another loss.
Yep.
They lose to the Vikings.
They lose to the Vikings.
That's 4.
You got.
And then they play the Eagles again.
Right.
Do they lose to the Eagles again?
I think they split. I think the Eagles rest players.
So that is 6. So that's 11-6. 11-6. You got the Seahawks being 11-6.
Yeah, that's 11.
You get 11-6. We speculate the Commanders to be 10-7. Then the last team to look at is the Cowboys.
Tough game in Minnesota this week.
They need it.
Damn, they haven't played a AFC South team yet.
Oh yeah, so Dallas is not. Dallas is.
What the?
Dallas is not collapsing.
They haven't, bruh.
Dallas is not collapsing.
Minnesota, the Giants,
and Dallas is not collapsing. I take that back.
It's 3 straight. Look, Indy, Texans, Jazz.
Yeah.
Then
Dallas
Philly,
is not collapsing.
And then the Titans after that.
Dallas is not collapsing.
Wow.
And like you said, they got a reason to play the Commanders last week.
So
they got a reason to play. The Dallas is definitely not collapsing. I take that back.
It's possible. It is possible that somebody can get to 10 and not get in. It's possible.
I don't know, man. This is a tough. I don't know if we're gonna find closure on this, and I got a headache, bro. Like this is tough. It's fucking tough, bro. Because
it is, man. It is.
Because I think the Commanders are going to go on a run, but if you're saying the run requires them to make the playoffs, then the Commanders might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, and let's be clear, I don't got them in. Like, I stand firm to that.
Yeah,
I don't have them going in. But
Dallas is going on a run.
Yeah,
and they're probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Seattle is going to be. But Seattle's. Yeah, I don't know that anybody takes us based on the. No team is going to take a slide. That's enough to get them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and even though we got San Fran kind of surging, I'm interested to see. Yeah, their schedule kind of sets up a little bit too. Their toughest games is home versus Miami, home versus the Buccaneers. I think that's a tough game come December 11th.
I think San Fran's smoking Tampa Bay.
I hope you're right, but I just don't want to see Tom Brady. But yeah, Seattle, that's tough. I think they do win, and then it's Commanders, Raiders, and Cardinals after that. Like even they don't even have a schedule that's kind of daunting. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like somebody's gonna have 10 and they're not gonna get in. So. That's what it's looking like right now.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
So look, man, I'm going to say the Commanders going to run even though they don't make the playoffs. That's what I'm going to stand by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Dallas is going on a run. But Dallas is going on a run. So I switched that. Yeah. Dallas is going on a run too.
Right. Let me say what up to Chief Rocka in the Facebook chat. He's saying I'm making too many excuses. I don't know if he's talking about his. We've been talking about the Giants. For a few minutes here, so I don't know what he's talking about as far as excuses. Look, I think Chief Rocka was kind of spot on, and even we said, hey, if you go through the stretch where they had Seattle, Houston, Detroit, and Jacksonville in that 4-game stretch, you get some wins there, you're gonna set yourself up pretty good, and they look like they about to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the style of play for the Giants that I think has people kind of a little, skeptical. Like they're like one bad Saquon injury away from it all falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you got Giants being the number 2 seed, right?
I do.
Giants.
I do.
So I just want to be sure that we agree on the 3 wild cards. Giants, Cowboys, 49ers, or Seattle.
Giants, Seattle, Dallas.
Giants, Seattle, Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I had San Fran winning the division anyway from the start.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna stick with that, even though
Okay.
Seattle is, Seattle's a legit threat to win that division. But I'm gonna stick with San Fran.
I remember picking the Rams to win a division, man.
It all fell down, man.
Man, that's a fact. That's a fact. What Kevin Durant said?
There's this Bleacher Report story that just was released earlier today, and I peeped a little bit of their game against the Kings last night. They got smoked on the floor last night against the Kings, and so I guess he puts this out, and he kind of went on to talk about his roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the people, his teammates minus Kyrie Irving.
Right.
And so this was a quote in the Bleacher Report article. It says, "Look at our starting lineup: Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton, and me. It's not disrespect, but what are you expecting from that group? You expect us to win because I'm out there?"
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
Uh-huh.
Y'all mad at that?
I'm not mad at that. You know what that says to me? That's code for get Kyrie's ass back on this team and let's start playing some games and winning some games. That's what that says to me.
I mean, look, I get why that's bad for the players that are being spoken of. But look, man, look. If your criticism is his lack of leadership, like that's not the best leader thing to do. Mm-hmm. Look, yeah, I agree, but hey, bruh. Facts are facts, man.
But you know what?
Look,
this kind of
we don't look at
him.
We don't look at him being a leader. Like, let's just keep it a buck.
It's safe to say that Kevin Durant is not the best leader.
We don't look at him to be a leader. We look at him to produce on the court. I don't think that's what he has ever promoted trying to be.
Right.
Like he is the dude that just want to go on there and play.
Yeah.
So, what you like? That's what he's done his career. You don't hear him about him, galvanizing the troops and having passionate speeches. The nigga barely talks unless it's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, what you want? Like, you want me to act like he a leader or he's some type of a some type of a vocal leader, like a CP3 or those types of. He just go out and play ball.
Yeah.
That's what he does. And yeah, man, that lineup is not a good lineup, man. Mm-hmm. That's not a good lineup.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
I mean, I'm sorry
I'm sorry
to Royce O'Neal, man.
How many games has Kyrie missed?
I don't know. I mean, it happened last week, so
he's missed the 5.
He has missed the 5.
He's missed at least the 5. So, what was the Kings game last night? Number 6 or?
I don't know, Trey. I was for certain getting ready to tell you that this was like maybe the 4th or maybe the 5th at worst game.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that it's 6. It might be 6.
Yeah.
And yeah. But I haven't been counting, so don't hold me to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the rule came out last Tuesday, correct? The little list, the little to-do list.
I thought it was a little bit before that, maybe a day or 2 before that.
I'm just saying how many. I'm thinking my logic is how many games can you play in a week?
At the most 4.
4. Yeah, that was my thinking as to why it hadn't been 5 games.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't think you could play 4 games in a week. I think it's more 3. I guess if you got 2 home games, you can because you got to do back to backs.
Yep.
Yeah.
If there's back to backs, then yeah, that's certainly possible. Okay, his last game was November 1st against the Bulls. So he missed the Wizards game, Charlotte, Dallas, the Knicks, Clippers, Lakers, and so Sacramento was the 7th game last night.
Hold on. I feel like you didn't name like 8, 9 games. Maybe you was talking fast.
It's 7 games.
7 games. Okay.
He's missed 7 games. That was the Chicago game. That was the game he only scored 4 points in.
Uh-huh. Man. I look.
So
I tell you one.
he won his boy
I
back. That man won his boy back.
Kyrie
Get Kyrie back on the floor.
Kyrie, hurry up and finish that list up, man. Stop playing with these people, man.
Kyrie,
Stop playing with my projections, Kyrie. Hurry up, get this
he
list
won.
done. I get it. It's degrading and all these. Oh, I get it.
Oh,
Hey, bro, I
yo.
get it.
Oh man,
But
yo.
go ahead, hurry up and get this list out the way, man. Get back on this
Yo,
team, bro.
you dead set on these projections, bro. Yo, I could tell in your heart, like these projections mean a lot to you, man.
I don't know if they mean a lot. I don't know if they mean. I think me being right means a lot.
Or or you like Kevin Durant. I think we all do.
I like being right, and I love Kevin Durant, but I like being right.
You know,
I think that's what it is.
he's the Seat Pleasant kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, PG County, DMV. He's that dude. Yeah, you want to root for the hometown kid. I get it, 100%. We all love KD over here.
I want my projections to be right, bro. I had them as a one. I think I had them as a 1 or a 2 seed.
I think you had him as a 2 seed, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a wait and see at this point.
It surely for certain. But Kyrie, hurry up, man.
Yeah, that's what he's telling. That's what he's telling you in code.
Yeah.
That I need Kyrie back on this floor.
I can dig it.
So,
I can dig it.
But in relation to the article, there was other stuff in there that I'm really not going to get into. But some of it was in relation to what came about with the trade request, and obviously there was stuff about Steve Nash, Jacques Vaughn, the practices, and all kinds of like intangible
Yeah.
stuff that's in there. But
Yeah.
And I've been seeing this, and I don't know if this is gonna come to light or not, but there's people that keep thinking that the Nets are gonna break this thing up at some point in the season, and
I mean,
and I'm not so confident that that's gonna be the case.
Man,
I'm not confident that that's gonna be the case.
that they're gonna break up the team.
That they're gonna break up the team mid-season, like they're gonna.
Oh
trade
no, they're
Kevin
not doing
Durant,
that.
like they're gonna
Hell
trade
no.
Kevin Durant someplace.
Hell no. For what?
I don't see that. Being
Not in the season.
Yeah.
Man, look, I could totally understand them trying to get rid of him at the end, or trying to trade him at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, man, this ain't working. I could see that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, the way I see it, get Kyrie back. Yeah, y'all got to go full throttle to try to make this thing happen. Is the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even if Kyrie didn't come back, I still don't see them trading Kevin Durant mid-season.
Yeah,
I don't see that. Issues with Ben Simmons and all. Whether that's a story or not. I don't know if you saw that, but people saying, hey, they and really, I think we knew this question all along, whether this dude really wants to play basketball or not, and because he hasn't had a really good season, he hasn't had a season up to even Ben Simmons standards at this point.
Yeah. And it's been about a month in the season.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Look, I would. I mean, I guess that's a lot of time.
No, it is. It definitely is.
The questions are at this point valid. I mean, 2 weeks. Cam putting his Instagram video, and like, all right, that's all right. It's still early, but a whole another 2 weeks later, yeah.
Yeah, it's something about that, man. That water look good, bro.
Oh my God, I don't know how I ever like try to do a podcast without water, bro.
Yeah, man.
Hey, I don't got nothing else. Do you got something else?
Nah, man. I'm good, man. I'm just making sure we got through all the. Yeah. I'm good to go, man. Special shout out to Chief Rocker in the chat. Kesey, appreciate you joining in to the Facebook live chat. Shout out to everybody listening, watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Just a reminder too, folks, if you guys catch this episode or any of our previous episodes on like Apple, Spotify, or Google, leave us a review. Let us know what you think about the show. Be a good look for us. Let us know what y'all think about these episodes and our content and all that. Continue to follow us on these social media platforms. Click the like button on the Facebook page. Hit us up on Twitter at BarbershopSPOR2. You can follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We're on IG also at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. And if you got any questions, comments, you want to get on the show, whatever, hit us up on the email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So, another week in the books, man.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to do this again. I'll holler at you at some point next week. Y'all folks out there, take care. We'll be back next week with another hot episode. Peace. One love, folks.
Recording